Today's community focus. In the last several weeks, we've reported on Rhode Island nonprofits concerned about funding changes at the federal level. And joining us live to talk about how the Rhode Island Foundation is working to help is the foundation's president and CEO, David Cicilline. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So, we've reported here at 4 about some of the federal funding freezes and cuts. Legal battles on the topic are playing out in our courts here in Rhode Island. What are you hearing from nonprofits here in the Ocean State?
Well, as you know, the Rhode Island Foundation is the largest funder of nonprofits, Rhode Island's only community foundation, and we're hearing from many of our grantees about challenges they're facing because of either changes in federal policy or funding freezes by the federal government or cancellation of existing contracts. And so I think it's really important to remember this impacts the lives of Rhode Islanders. When a food pantry has an empty shelf and there's not enough food, when a child can't be in a Head Start program because it's been cut, or there is some small business that can't get assistance because a federal program has been frozen, it has an impact on Rhode Islanders. So what we have been working on is a comprehensive plan to respond to this moment. We've set aside $3 million to really focus on organizations that have experienced some loss of federal funding and or because of some change in federal policy. Those grants will actually become available. Applications as of Monday, this coming Monday, will go live on our website, and so people can go to the Rhode Island Foundation website and make an application. There'll be grants of up to $50,000 to organizations to help them with scenario planning, financial planning, development work, operations, legal counsel, anything they might need to help navigate this really difficult time.
And we've talked for a few weeks now about some of these concerns or problems that Rhode Island nonprofits are facing. What kind of work went on behind the scenes to get these grants out there, and how are they being funded? So
we set aside $2 million for our community grant programs to really target the organizations that I just described. I asked my board to authorize me to take some of our reserves, and then I raised an additional $500,000 from very generous Rhode Islanders. So all of this work would not be possible without the generosity of Rhode Islanders who really answered the call and recognized that this is a particularly challenging moment for nonprofits. And so we're proud to announce this, and we're going to continue to monitor this situation, work very closely with the organizations that are doing this important work to be sure that we're doing all we can to help navigate this moment. But people should really recognize that this is a very challenging time. There's a lot of uncertainty, and so we want to be certain that we're doing our part to make additional resources available, a total of $3 million to help nonprofits that are facing these challenges.
And these challenges go anywhere from, nonprofits who physically can't get a hold of their funding to maybe some who are concerned that they could be impacted down the line.
That's
correct?
Right, and some of it, is very real. The Southside Community Land Trust lost $600,000 in funding. They feed 25,000 Rhode Islanders by providing food to food pantries and community eating places all across the state. So that's just one example in Woonsocket. A similar example from organizations in Woonsocket. We also have East Bay Community Health Center, which had a health program that they can't fund. So it ranges from everything from food pantries to after-school programs to health things. LISC does important housing work, has lost some funding, an urgent issue in Rhode Island, housing. So it ranges all throughout the nonprofit sector. But I think what's really important to recognize is this has an impact on the lives of Rhode Islanders, our neighbors, our friends, our communities. This hurts real people, and that's the responsibility of the Rhode Island Foundation to do all we can to protect Rhode Island, to protect Rhode Islanders from the harm that comes from these kinds of federal cuts.
Now, we have about 30 seconds left. I wanted to ask you about other work that the Rhode Island Foundation is doing. You're helping some high school students preparing for the next step in their education. Walk me through some of the scholarships you guys have
Yes,
available.
I'm very exciting. They're live now. We have over $4 million in scholarships, both for college and career and technical schools. So big, a lot of people don't know that about the Rhode Island Foundation. This is a big part of our work. And so I encourage people who might be watching to be sure they go to our website and apply, again, $4 million in college scholarships.
All right, and we'll be sure to include more information with this story on our website. David Cicilline with the Rhode Island Foundation, thanks as always for being here.
Thanks for having me.